In Diablo 2, skills and items are the foundation of a strong build, and both are filled with their own unique quirks and potential. So in this game manual mini-series, we're going to start breaking down items, just as we will with the sister series for the skill trees. In this first episode, we'll be breaking down item types, rarities, and uses. In Diablo 2, there are 4 types of items: consumables, charms, equipment, and socketables, and all of these can be used in both gameplay functions as well as in crafting or improving your gear. We'll start with the most basic, and that is consumables. The list of consumables is fairly short, including scrolls for town portals and item identification that can be stored in tomes to save room, as well as healing potions and mana potions that come in 5 potencies, and restore your life and mana respectively over a short period of time. There's also specific use case consumables as well, like ammunition in the form of arrows and bolts, as well as the weaponized throwing potions that function as throwing weapons that deal AoE fire or poison damage depending on the type. There are also rejuvenation potions that provide immediate recovery of life and mana based on a percent of your maximums. And lastly, the duration potions: stamina, which provides infinite stamina temporarily, thawing, which removes chill and provides cold resist, and antidote, which cures poison and boosts poison resist. Each of these duration potions lasts for 30 seconds by themselves, but if multiple are consumed, they add to this duration. So drinking, say, 6 thawing potions will provide you with 3 minutes of boosted cold resist rather than 30 seconds. The next item on the list is charms. These are items of varying sizes that you keep in your active inventory to provide various boosts. They come in 3 sizes: small, which takes up 1 slot, large, which takes up 2 slots, and grand, which takes up 3 slots. The vast majority of charms you find will be magical, with the potential to have up to 2 modifiers, a prefix and a suffix. Which is the most space efficient will kind of vary on the modifier you're looking for, and we do have an older guide on that as well as a more refined one on the way covering that on the channel. The short version though is that for the most part they all can get similar bonuses to each other except for plus skills, which is exclusive to grand charms. There are also 3 unique charms. Unlike other unique items like equipment and socketables, you can only keep one of each unique charm in your inventory at a given time due to just how powerful they can be for their specific function. After that, we have equipment, the items you, well, equip. There are 9 types of equipment: helmets, shields, armor, gloves, boots, belts, rings, amulets, and weapons. Equipment can also drop in 5 flavors: white, magic, rare, set, and unique. It is also possible to create crafted equipment that functions similar to rares but has guaranteed modifiers. Most equipment can also spawn in a state known as ethereal that is more powerful but suffers from reduced durability and cannot be repaired. The exceptions being rings, amulets, bows, crossbows, and set items, which cannot spawn ethereal for various reasons. As far as item flavors go, white items are the most basic item type, and while they don't spawn with any prefixes or suffixes, they can spawn as low quality, normal, and superior quality. With low quality, like cracked, crude, damage, etc., all being around 75% of the potency of their normal form, being unable to spawn ethereal, and having severely reduced durability and such. And on the flip side, you have superior, getting random bonuses to durability, extra defense on armor, extra damage or attack rating on weapons, or up to 2 of these bonuses. Magic items are the first improvement on this, and it will display as blue named items. These require identification to know what their effects will be. They can have up to 2 modifiers, 1 prefix effect, 1 suffix effect, such as King's Sword of Leeching would have King's as the prefix and Leeching as the suffix. While usually the lowest end of the item spectrum, there are several really good magical items that can be spawned as endgame tools. They're just fairly uncommon. The primary use of magic items is as the base for recipes or crafting items, but you can find some really good ones if you are attentive enough. Rare items that show up with bright yellow names on them can be some of the best items in the game, but have wildly varying modifiers, able to have anywhere from 2 up to 6 modifiers, with a maximum of 3 prefixes and 3 suffixes. Like magic items, their effects won't be known until identified, and they do roll with random names, and the prefix and suffix system is just to determine the number and types of modifiers. They can only have 1 affix from a given family at a time though, so you can't get 2 leeching, for example. While often overlooked in the late game, there are a lot of rare items that can be better than uniques. It's just very RNG heavy. Set items are the first of the fixed stat items, and they're oddly special in not being able to spawn ethereal, unlike other item flavors. Showing up as green items, while you can't see their effects before identifying them due to fixed stats, you'll generally know what you're getting outside of a few overlapping sets. Set items are special in that the more items you have from that specific set, the more abilities the individual items can potentially get. And a full set generally has a plethora of modifiers added for a complete set bonus. Should an item roll to be a set item and fail, either due to level of the enemy being too low or there not being a set item of that type, a magic item with double durability will instead be rolled, which can be good if it rolls one of the good endgame magic items. Unique items are the last of the droppable items and show up as brownish gold color named items. These are things with special effects that are usually not found on other similar slotted items, especially as you move into exceptional and elite things. These items are consistent enough to be good trading fodder as well, especially since some are highly sought after. Should a unique item roll but fail due to enemy level or there not being a unique of that item type, or having already spawned that unique in the game, a rare with triple durability will be generated instead. This is especially common with class-specific item drops, leading to some amazing high durability claws for the assassin. Lastly, crafted items function similar to rares but are limited to 4 random affixes, on top of their fixed abilities of course. These items straddle the gap between uniques and rares since many of them have fixed abilities that cannot be otherwise found outside of uniques or sets, at least not in the slot that they are made for. We have guides going into details on these, but I will be making a few more in the near future for new and experienced players. And finally, with equipment out of the way, we have Socketables. These include items that can be put in the sockets that can be generated on weapons, armor, helmets, and shields. The most basic Socketables are gems. These come in 5 grades: chipped, flawed, normal, flawless, and perfect. They provide specific bonuses that improve with each grade and can be crafted up from the previous version. For example, combining 3 chipped gems in your cube will create 1 flawed gem. Though different grades have different uses and crafting recipes, so it can be kind of beneficial to keep a few of the lower tiers for later, you can still farm them relatively reliably on higher player counts, and most people will leave them alone. There are 7 types of gems in total though: ruby, emerald, sapphire, amethyst, topaz, diamond, and skull. The next type of socketable items are the 33 runes in the game, the lowest being an L rune and the highest being a Zod rune. Unlike gems, they don't have quality grades, but they can be transmuted to the next higher rune using various recipes in the cube. For the most part, the effects of runes by themselves are, well, fine. They start showing their real usefulness when used for rune words though. Rune words can only be placed in white items with the exact number of sockets necessary and of the right type, but the effect rune words can provide will often meet or exceed even the power of unique items. Entire guides have been written over just sections of the rune word library, so it is a bit beyond the scope of this basic library, but full lists of the various rune words and what items they can be put in can be found over at Ariat Summit, and we will actually have additional guides with advice for various slots and various types of rune words. Last up on the socketable item pool are jewels. These can spawn as magical, rare, or unique. Magical jewels having access to the strongest prefixes and suffixes, but they can only get up to 1 of each. Rare jewels have access to weaker modifiers, but can have up to 4 of them instead of just 2. And finally, unique jewels being comprised of items called rainbow facets, which provide perks related to one of the 4 main elements: poison, lightning, fire, or cold, and are fairly sought after for niche builds or min-maxing. In the next part of this miniseries, we'll start breaking down into more details on each of these points, since while I would like to address the entire viewer request on the item guide, I would also like to keep these bite-sized so people can find specific information they're looking for, so it's easier to digest for new players at least, instead of creating a monolithic video.